Okay, time for the last push to finish these Greaves. Now I mentioned last video that I wanted to try two different colors, my beastie brown and leather brown, for these strings. And so this is the leather brown and this is the beastie brown. And my initial impression was that I liked this one better because it contrasted more, but somehow, looking at it more closely, the leather brown, the thing is that there's shading around these strings, and the beastie brown seems to wash that out more. It doesn't pop as much from the background. The leather brown does. I'm gonna keep experimenting a bit with the leather brown here and see what happens if I use it for these little bits of string as well. The ones holding the ones around the rim of the knee pad. These are more hard to see, to be honest, and I'm going over a little bit here, I realize, but yeah, I probably don't want to go darker than that. I think the leather brown is going to do quite nicely. It's gonna work. And will I highlight? I think I'm just gonna put on one highlight of this. What I mean is I'm gonna put down this base color and then I will highlight it once. I will lighten it quite a lot and just put in, I'll dot in some highlights in a few places, just because you always need a highlight. It's like a mantra for a miniature painter. You can't just have one color. That would be, it's like against the painter's code or something. You need to have several shades. And again, going into silent mode here for a while because this is delicate work, but hopefully it's noticeable that there is a different color on there. Let's see if I can paint over the beastie brown on this one and not mess this up. You know, it's not, if this one will, if this one's going to continue looking a bit different, and that's okay. It's not, yeah, I have, that one looks slightly darker still, but maybe she just didn't have exactly the same colors of string, or well, these are leather thongs of some sort, not actually string. And maybe she just had two different lengths of leather to tie her greaves on, and they had slightly different colors. That seems reasonable. That could happen. In real life, in a Dark Ages or medieval setting, not all equipment was color coordinated. You might be shocked to learn. The only thing stopping this from being like a 2-minute video is the fact that I have to take a little bit of care when applying these. Not that it will be very visible to the naked eye, but okay, there we go. What now? Okay, let's take some of this color and mix it in. And bring some off-white into the mix here. Is that too thin? Yeah. Nah, yeah, it's not gonna work. I'm gonna need some new paint. Add a slight dot of bone white to that. Mix that sucker up. And we'll see. Yeah, let's pause here and start over so I don't run into the 10 minutes. So I've got the highlight, and I'm just gonna put on like one dot in each place where we have the previous color. That was too much on my brush. You see, I only have a tiny amount of paint on the tip of my brush, barely touching it. I'm going around and just at the tops. Can you see what I'm doing? The tops of these pieces of string all the way around, and let's see up here, and see on these strings going across here, I'll mostly see, I'll highlight the knots where they meet, and just a little bit here in front. Let's see what I'm doing. I'm just gonna lightly touch the middle here, give that some sheen, and that knot a little bit, not the full length of the strings, but again here the knot a little bit down, a bit there, a bit there, a bit there. That's enough, I believe. So now it's kind of blending into the background, but it still looks a little bit different, I think. Going around the knee pad here again, and the rim here. Getting some more paint. Getting the rim at the bottom. Yeah, it's really hard to tell those bits apart. Oops, a little bit too much there. Again, mainly the knots and a little bit in between. front here. Yeah. I think that's pretty good. I'm pleased with the way these different shades of brown kind of intermix. They're distinct, the boots and the greaves and the strings and the fur. They're all distinct from each other, but they still look like they belong together, if you see what I mean. So the next step is to just give these a gloss coat, and since this video is pretty short overall, I can do that for you and show you the results. So this is what she looks like all gloss coated all over, so you can see like the same effect on everything. And the main body is all done actually now. What's left is the equipment, the sword and the shield specifically, and a couple of other small details. And I'll start getting to that next week. I will start with the sword next week, I believe, which will be NMM, and you'll get to see me experiment with that again. I'm not very experienced in non-metallic metal, but I understand that on a display model like this, it is the thing to do. You can't print true metallics. That would be gauche. Anyway, like I said, I'm gonna relax over the weekend and get to that next week. Hopefully, if I don't manage to upload any new videos because of the hecticness of life, then, well, a lot of you haven't watched all of these videos yet. I mean, there's some of you seem to have a backlog, so you could use the time to catch up. Whatever happens, I hope you follow along with me in this series. So for now, I'm Dakian, signing off.